Okay, welcome to Little Steps to Epic Month. I'm chatting with Inna Duckworth. Inna, do you want to just quickly tell us what you do, and then we will talk about changes we can make?
Thank you very much for inviting me and for having me here. I love chatting about the work that I do. I'm a women's health herbalist. That means I'm a professionally trained medical herbalist. And over my career, I've specialized working with women. And it was a blessing to find Emily because just sort of, I think about simultaneously, we started doing the Perimenopause project, but in a very different way. And I was very happy to get here. And so my focus at the moment is three focuses in my practice. And I forgot to say I'm adding a natural nutritional therapy. I'm doing a postgraduate degree in natural therapy, nutritional therapy to add because I've noticed that a lot of things overlap, and I really wanted to know how they overlap and how to help women. Anyway, my three focuses at the moment are perimenopause, and second focus is women are after 35ish who will maybe delayed having children and now want to do that. This is my second focus. And third focus is intimate health, all the genitourinary health, because I've noticed that not many people actually work in that area properly. And well, yes, you've got pelvic floor, like people working with pelvic floor and pelvic congestion. That's right. But there's also a lot of things that can be done nutritionally, herbally, and look a bit more maybe sort of functional medicine aspect there, things like microbiome and stuff like this. So that's what I do. I'm quite boring that way, but it helps. So, thanks, Emily, for inviting me. So, as I'm announced straight away what three things I'll be talking about. So, if it's not something you're interested, like, I'm sorry. So, number one, we'll be talking about prioritization and why it is important in perimenopause. Second, we'll be talking about alcohol and how not to kill the joy, but have some fun. And the third, we'll be talking about plastic, household plastic. So, let's begin decluttering. Uh, we are a very unique generation of women, okay? Because what has happened is we were probably one of the first generation that managed to have children later because it was less pressure on society, contraception. We were able to make choices we wanted to make. So now, about 44, I bet you I am like half of the women who are. So I've got two kids, 8 and 9. I've got elderly parents, and we've got all the modern household stresses, and we want to have fun. So tell me how I'm somewhat different from women watching this. So the point is, once you add all these layers, there's very all of them add a lot of stresses. Okay, each layer. Kids, my son is being looked at diagnosing in autism, and all of that. Daughter is prepubescent. My elderly mom is far away. The COVID, this thing, all of that is kind of sticking, almost like a sticky mud. So and also expectations, like really the expectation that you expected to do that, or you expected to be that, or you expected to attend this space time and do that. So I think we can afford, like by our golden age, I think we can afford starting like decluttering all of that. I would really suggest something like a very light form of journaling, even maybe recording yourself on the phone, like literally, if something stressed you out, just as you walk home and you're doing something in the car, just record this bit that stressed you out, and then over a week, maybe like do that for a couple of days, come back and see which particular bits of that stress happened and see how was it avoidable. Okay, how was it avoidable? If that's a particular person and that's not your mom, you can probably stop communicating honestly. Like, if it's your mom, that's a bit more work to be done there, probably. Yeah, but if you know what I mean. Like, okay, that's toxic. Except that there is toxic stuff in life, which you might not want to have. For example, um, apart from Emily's group, there are some groups I just don't go there because I know that I go to that group, I'll open it, and I'll get into someone's troubles, like and it's not something that I can cope with edit, because as a professional, I would get in, I'd get involved, I'd want to give advice and all of that. Like, no, I wasn't asked to give this advice at this very precise moment of time. Just let it go. Instead, if you want to browse and want to do something, like what I found a couple of women that are really doing beautiful music meditations, like beautiful, like some singing, meditating about women, like, the lady called Pirukwa, she's doing a lot of womb work, and ladies like that. So just find this piece of music or something like that that will fill you rather than drain you, and replace it. Just like, okay, you're still having your 5 minutes to yourself, you're still like allowing that, but instead of reading about someone else's troubles, which might not be helpful, you're looking into something that might be helpful. Now, there is a note, there's a really important note. Anxious people cannot meditate, okay, not straight away. That just does not happen, because the anxious mind is an anxious mind. The best thing for really for anxiety, apart from looking into health, diet, is a little bit of a walk, literally. And I was even thinking, say, if you're like me, living in the countryside, maybe creating a little bird feeder outside of your home, 5 minutes away outside your home. And that will give you a task to go, you know? So when you're feeling really anxious, instead of brewing this anxiety, just go and feed the birds. That will really make a difference. I know it's like, it's one of those things, like, she's kidding. No, as you go 5 minutes away, like literally, don't make it further than that. Walk, feed the birds. Whilst you'll be doing that, you will detach from all these troubles that are bothering you and come back home. And that's it. That's like that. Just this little thing will make a difference. Apart from that, if you walk after lunch for 20 minutes, it will regulate your blood sugar. Okay, that's really important. Yes, they very like, yeah, it really does. It does work like metformin. 20-minute walk works like metformin. So that would be that. So what do you feel about the little this tip, Emily?
I
What
love
do you
the
feel
idea
about
of
it?
having the bird feeder. I hadn't even thought about that as a way to get you away
Yeah,
from your desk, away from
yeah,
thinking. And you can't be watching the birds and simultaneously be worrying.
yeah,
It
exactly.
makes you be present, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought about. Like, because like I do that in not less in a less formal way, and I always like. But there's a tree nearby. Every time I go, like, anyway, I go there. I just go there, stand for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. It kind of changes it. When I can, I add some meditative music to that, and I feel that's enough. I can't afford more time there at the moment, and I understand that many women won't. But this little thing, I should be helpful.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
alcohol. That's dry January. So now, what is the problem with alcohol? There are several problems. Alcohol drive histamine, especially red wine, and histamine work in tight junction with estrogen. Uh, what is the key feature of perimenopause? At least the differentiating factor between perimenopause and transition to menopause is this masses of unopposed estrogen. Okay, and I'm looking at someone's um, yeah, okay, I didn't plan it, that wasn't planned, but look, the estrogen that's someone's real report, but estrogen, probably too small, no, but anyway, estrogen in our body metabolizes in three pathways, okay, and one of the pathways is cancerogenic, and this is where alcohol is fighting for the space. Well, there's a process how to make this estrogen less cancerogenic, and alcohol literally fights for this space, for this same pathway. And also it fights for the same pathway as vitamin A. And vitamin A is our eyesight, okay, and many more other things. So if you really think, so if you can, okay, there's three things I wanted to say. One is start thinking, why do you want alcohol? What exactly do you want from alcohol? Like, okay, do you want just social banter, or do you want just to relax? Well, what is it? Because each of these aspects, if you think about it, it has got other strategies to deal with, other strategies to work around. And if you're in a social situation, okay, maybe you might go for not red wine, because red wine is the culprit. Red wine is the worst in terms of heating up estrogen. You could go for botanical gin and tonic with a lot of tonic. Now, botanical gin and tonic, if it's made well, it's actually antiseptic and slightly anti-inflammatory. And tonic is improving digestion. So, and if you add lime or lemon, that's also kind of a good combo. So if you need to go that way, just, you know, but if you do that socially, but you can actually go without alcohol, go for non-alcoholic botanic gin. And this is what it is. It's something that we professionally call hydrosols or aromatic waters. Okay, that's the same plant material uh, has been like when you make essential oils. Okay, that's the same process but done in a safe way, and there is not so much essential oils that can be like it. So anyway, it's made in that way. It's not toxic or chemically like too active for you. And actually, so what the point I'm moving to, if you feel you're super, if you want just to relax, okay, just to relax, you can buy such hydrosol in the market, like online. Just look for food grade hydrosol of lavender. Okay, this hydrosol of lavender or aromatic water of lavender is one of the best relaxants. And it's actually got a little bit of this kind of kick, if you like, you know. So if you really think you need a glass just to relax, you can swap it with something like that. Because a cup of tea won't just do that. A cup of tea won't be strong enough, you know. But like if you make a little like a glass of water with a little bit of that um, 5 ml actually of this aromatic water of lavender. That will be the most relaxing thing ever. You'll come back for it, believe me. You know, so and stuff like that. And for example, there is a aromatic water of rosemary that will help you with concentration. Aromatic water of rose, but look for food grade. Food there should be food quality, food grade. A lot of French products are because and they are available in the UK because French is all about this aromatic waters and all of that. That's their way of taking herbs. Rose, God, rose and lavender. If you have a bit of especially grief, like all this what's happening is giving people a lot of grief, like literally, you know, a lot of loss. Aromatic water of rose, that's the best thing you can do for yourself, you know. And you know, the combo of rose, lavender, and rosemary is a beautiful combo. You would have like a couple of milliliters each. You can even play with it. You can make your own botanical gins if you like, non-alcoholic botanical gins, and offer them to your guests. You know, it's like a little bit like this pub in London called Botanist, the Botanist and the Alchemist. They all do that. So if you really want, so this would be your combo of how can I have this fancy drink, but without doing it too much alcoholic. You can do it that way. So that's probably what I wanted to say about alcohol. How does it feel to you, Emily?
It sounds fascinating. I've never heard of the rose and things, the waters. So yeah, it sounds fascinating. I'm intrigued as to what they actually taste like because I'm really funny about flavors.
Well, they taste like plants. They taste really like plants. Remember, there was this product. I'm not sure if they took on hit on the market. It was called #1 rosemary water, something like that. So it was very big in London a couple of years ago. So that's what they were selling. So what they did, they've learned that the blue zones on the planet, there's the blue zones where people live long and happy and ever after, and there's a lot of centenaries of people who kind of age of 100. They found one in Mediterranean, one in Japan, one elsewhere. And the Mediterranean one, they kind of made a story that it was all about rosemary. Well, it wasn't just about rosemary. It was about lifestyle, about not being too much worried, good weather, a lot of sun, a lot of sea, But rosemary does play a role there. Rosemary is very potent antioxidant. It does help a lot, and it can. So it does taste really nice. It's like a little bit stronger tea. It's nice. I mean, I like the taste. The problem with rosemary, I love it, and I recommend it especially for our kind of cohort, for my cohort, is that it helps with memory.
That's always useful.
I have I told you that I have about 5 ml of this aromatic water in my first water of the day. It also stimulates liver well. It just does a lot of good things. It's anti-cancer and it's like loads of stuff. But I like it for this sharpness because I need it. I need to be able to focus here and there. Yes, so that would be about alcohol.
Cool.
Another last thing I wanted to talk is about household plastic. I'm guilty myself, okay? We've still got some plastic Tupperware here and there, but the concept is the xenoestrogens. Everyone probably has spoken about xenoestrogens. They are nasty stuff, okay? One of the professors, Harvard professors, learned from, and in my field, everyone's got a Harvard professor they've learned from. This one, I mean, come on, he's talking about literally the coffee cups, the single-use coffee cups. The lids are made of plastic, and he's saying that drinking through this lead, especially several times a day, every day, because they're coupled with coffee and hot water, they actually leach all this stuff straight in. And he said that even that is enough to be a significant disruptor. So
Wow.
he's just saying that take off the lid, drink without the lid, okay? Just like as a, okay, if you can, just get something that doesn't have this plastic lid or the plastic that doesn't leach or whatever. But my point is, start reducing plastic in household use in terms of at least something that gets in contact with your food. And I remember I read about it and it was brilliant advice and passing it on. The guy said, do not try to replace everything at once. Just don't. Have a plan, okay? So be gentle to yourself. Have a plan. Okay, this Tupperware I'm using, I can move it from kitchen to elsewhere in household. And once I need something else, I'll just buy glass. You can buy glass in Dunelm, you can buy probably online, probably, well, everyone can sell you. Just go for something that's got probably like a lid, like some comfortable lid, like a cork lid or sometimes also glass lid, something that you can use, in the oven or just think about it. What I am doing most of the time, honestly, I'm keeping the jars, the larger jars, like a something like 700 ml jars, and I'm just using those jars for leftover food because like I don't have to put it in this
No.
say you don't just think out of the box, and it doesn't cost me a thing because I already paid for that. And those things just like start opening your eyes to this. Okay, where are my main contacts with xenoestrogens? Okay, one is filtered water. That's a bit more complicated, but filtered water. And then you start looking what else you can do. And these little things, they, you know what they do? They bring about a mindset of what am I doing? And this mindset will be translating gradually into something very like bigger changes. Like, okay, I've done that. It was doable. What else can I do? What else can I do to help me? Because the point is, perimenopause will pass. Okay, but I want us to thrive in that period. Really thrive. What's possible? How is that possible? What else can I do? Okay, I've noticed, for example, that I've changed my cooking completely over the last couple of years from, from some stews. Well, I stopped eating meat for my personal reasons some time ago, and I don't advocate that. I'm just saying that just, people, but I've I've changed the way I cook. I've changed the way I cook from like some stews and stuff like that into something that's really light, like something that's cooked on the spot, really light, and doesn't create leftovers. And I understood that this journey was something from 2016, It's like I went on a course, we had a beautiful cook on that course, and she was cooking this beautiful light food on the spot. Honestly, she cooked cabbage, she'd like chopped cabbage literally 30 seconds in the colander, like in the steam. And this cabbage, she'd take it off and she'd make like a nut kind of butter, melt nut butter, and like add there with some garlic, with something else. Was the best cabbage I've ever eaten in my life. Honestly, I didn't think that cabbage can be so tasty. And I started thinking about it. So it was 2016, the first thing, this cabbage thing. I came home, I learned, and now it takes time. be gentle on yourself. Give yourself a little bit of time to do that. Well, that's me for today, I think. Hopefully, it
Awesome.
wasn't too boring. What
No,
do you
that's
think about
brilliant.
plastic?
That's
What do you think
that's
about plastic?
it's everywhere, isn't it? It's such a difficult one. I
Yeah,
agree. Using, as you say, everything. So many things come in jars. You get a jar of mayonnaise, maybe, or a jar of,
yeah.
I don't know, whatever. And those jars
Pickled onions.
otherwise just go into the bin.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You can.
yeah. So I like the
Something
idea
like
of just reusing things rather than feeling that it's like with everything, and it's why we do the little steps for this month. If you come into this thinking, oh my God, I've got to get rid of all plastic in my house, you would never do it. You would never start. You simply wouldn't. But
yeah.
if you think, actually, when I finish that jar of whatever, I'll wash the jar and I'll keep it. And then next time I've got some leftover bolognese, I'll put it in there.
Yeah, or something. You can just do that. Yes. Well, thank you for hearing me. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Great.
That's been brilliant.
Oh, fantastic.